Peace. Good morning, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. I just want to say good morning to you. It is August the 9th. It's like, wow. It's like the ninth month of the year. And I can definitely say that this year has flown by. But you made it for those who are able to see me and I'm able to see you. I would always start in gratitude. So if you don't want to hear it about the gratitude, then I don't know what to tell you. You're always going to hear it in gratitude. Peace. Good morning, Miss Teresa. So yeah, the ninth day of the ninth month. I don't know, for those who play numbers, maybe you can play that 0909. I don't know. 090922, whatever it is for you. So good morning to you. I pray that your morning is a blessed one, and your morning is going to prepare you for where you're going, what you're about to do, and what is about to take place in your life. So yesterday we talked about peace. Good morning. It says Facebook user. Yesterday we spoke about be fruitful, and it is only right that we close it out with and multiply, because for those that don't know, which you'll see it inside the lesson itself. So to be fruitful and multiply is something called a creation mandate. But that's going to be within the lesson, so I'm not really going to jump on it now, but you'll see it again later on today, because the nature of be fruitful and multiply was a creation mandate. It was something that happened and took place way before there was ever a tablet of commandments or all of that other stuff. There was a creation mandate, but now we're going to take it and put it into a context to where I want you to begin to absorb that thing that makes you create. So before we start, what I want you to do is to begin to tap into that creation that you have within inside of you, because we all have it, but what we do with it is what makes us different. What we've done with it is what creates the difference. But now what I want to do is to let you know that you can create too. Yes, you can create too. Everyone is a natural architect. Everyone has a blueprint to their life. Everyone has a sheet of paper where they can begin to create that very thing that they have with inside of them and to bring that thing out. But it is only multiplied when you understand what you've placed or what is placed inside of you, because the seed of the fruit is something that everyone has inside of them, but it is not multiplied until you add it to you. I don't want to jump too deep because I'll be getting into my 4 points. So what I want you to do is go ahead and put inside the chat and multiply. I don't care if you use the ampersand sign, multiply, or you spell it out A&D, multiply. But I want you to see it for yourself, where you can acknowledge that in order for me to understand, before I multiply, I must understand how to multiply and when to multiply. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Definitely not going to keep you long, but I just want to bless you and tap into your natural nature of to multiply. So make sure you take this live and you share it, because this is going to tap or touch someone in a way that they know themselves that they can multiply. Because a lot of times we see a lot of people multiplying, we see a lot of people having what they have, but don't focus on that, because your multiplication is yours. It's not theirs. How they got it is how they got it. But how you're going to get it is all about you. Can you say it's all about you? I want you to say it's all about you, because a lot of times we put so much into everybody else that we forget about ourselves. So we don't multiply. And you'll see that again. And I'm gonna bring that out again. So let's go ahead and jump. So for those that may be new to the platform, you're gonna get definitions, you're gonna get the etymology, and in the definitions and etymology, there's gonna be an inversion. It's either gonna be red over white or white over red. If I say red over white, that means I want you to focus on the words that are in red. If I say white over red, that means I want you to focus on the words that are in white. So let's go ahead and jump. Well, the definition of multiply, it says to increase or cause to increase greatly in number by reproducing in several different ways or respects. So this one is red over white. So that means I want you to pay attention to, it says increase in several different ways or respects. So what I want you to acknowledge is, one, your increase is not my increase, and my increase is not your increase. But I want you to understand that we all have the ability to increase, but we have to understand that increase happens in different ways. And it also happens in respects. That means it happens when it's supposed to happen, in respect of time, in respect of space, in respect of moments. You can't always expect these things to happen in your timing or expect these things to happen when you desire for them to happen. You have to give respects that there are different ways that it's going to happen, and it's going to happen to you in increase, but you have to understand it is going to happen in a different way because it's yours. The fruit is yours. The seed that you plant may be different from mine. I might not want to plant I might not want to plant peas, or I might not want to plant greens. I might not want to plant okra. I might not want to plant watermelon, whatever it is. If those are your seeds, those are your seeds. So the expectations of your increase are going to come in different ways, because I'm still going to show respects to you, because that's the seed that you wanted to grow in harvest. Stop looking at what other people have, and to understand that the increase is going to happen in a different way, and it's going to happen when it is supposed to happen. So let's go into the etymology of it. So the root word in the etymology of the word multiply, it says from Latin multiplicare. I'm again a Cumberland County. Multiplicare, which, I mean, you can look at it, it's close to multiply or multiplication. It says to increase. Again, you see it here in the definition, it says increase. You see it in the origin or the etymology of it, it says to increase. Increase psychologically, increase emotionally, increase spiritually, increase physically. That means that there is something that has to be driven out of you. Well, let me reverse that. There is a drive that you have to have inside of you in order for it to be driven outside to increase. So let's take this quick deep dive. And I want you to understand. We can speak about the fruit. And I'm going to put a twist to it, but you're going to understand where I'm coming from. So, again, we'll remember the definition of the word. It says differently. But because it's my increase, or because it's my how I multiply, I don't have to see it your way, just like you don't have to see it my way. But there is a way. It's just like an apple, right? You plant an apple. You plant the seed. There are multiple seeds inside of a apple. So if I plant an apple, the seed of the apple inside the ground, then I have high expectations that I am going to have an apple tree. I won't have any expectations of planting a seed of an apple to grow oranges. That means there is a specific reason on why I'm growing apples, because I have an expectation of growing of a apple tree to grow more apples. So now growing a apple is planting of the seed with the expectation of having a apple tree. Just because it grows as a apple doesn't necessarily mean that I can only multiply it one way, by having more apples. So now let's look at the multiplication. How can you multiply the apple? You can multiply the apple by creating apple sauce. You can multiply the apple by creating apple butter. You can multiply the apple by creating apple cider, and a multitude of other things that you can create with the apple. There are health properties that comes about from eating the apple. So those are different ways that the apple can be multiplied, because far too long and far too often we look at growth and we look at increase from one perspective. Because when we look at it from that one perspective, we missed and we fall short of the multiplication, because we only have a raw and little small-minded expectations on what it is that we want. Because when we look at what we have and we can expand our expectations, when we expand our mind and how we can utilize our natural gifts and talents. So just because you know how to speak doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a public speaker. Your voice may be what someone else needs just to hear it in a private conversation. We have multiple gifts, but we don't exercise that gifts by multiplying what it is that we have that's inside of us. You don't have to go speak in front of many people. You just can utilize your voice to speak to that one person who needed to hear what you had to say. Remember, that is an increase differently and still giving respects to what you have. I'm still giving respects. Just wasn't inside an auditorium because you wasn't supposed to be in an auditorium. What was needed of you was to sit down and have that intimate conversation, because that is what was needed at that time. Respects to the time, respects to the gift, and respect to the fruit that you had. So first thing that I want you to understand, that there is a arithmetic operation that goes with to multiply. So there are 4 basic arithmetic operations. There's adding, subtracting, and dividing. We all know how to add, right? We all know that there are people that we add in our lives, and there are people that we subtract out of our lives, and there are some people who divide us that we have to separate ourselves from individuals. But now let's look at the 4th arithmetic operation, which is to multiply. So my question to you is, are you creating or exercising your arithmetic operation? Because the key to your multiplication is adding. You're either going to add quantity or quality, because you cannot multiply without adding. I don't care how you do it. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. You're going to have to add those things in order for you to have a quality of life, or in order for you to quantify the things that you want to do, or the things that you want to possess for yourself. Because if you want to multiply in your life, you have to add quality things to it. Like quality people, quality activities, quality thoughts, quality time. If you ever want to produce quality results. So I'm going to tell you something real quick. And it came to mind like this morning when I was walking. You know, a lot of times, you know, we as people, we say, oh, what's the true meaning to life? Some people ask those questions. I'm going to give you the answer. Well, I'm going to give you my answer, right? And you can take it how you want to take it. If it resonates with you, put it into the chat. So, what's the true meaning to life? The true meaning to life is your discovery. That's it. That's the R2 definition of the true meaning to life. The true meaning to life is your discovery. What have you discovered about you? What have you found out about you? Because the more things that you discover about you, then those things are going to multiply itself, right? Because say you discover you can fly, like literally, like stand there and take off like Superman. You will start traveling by flying. You will start like, I'm going to New York, I'm gonna be there in the morning, and you will start flying, right? Because you've discovered that you can fly, or you have discovered you can move objects by just looking at it. If you can move your car by staring at it from point A to point B, you're going to start moving things. So the true meaning to life is your discovery. Discover your natural gifts. Discover those innate abilities that you have. And I guarantee you that you're going to live a different type of life, because it's going to have a different type of meaning. Now, most of us all heard it, you know, proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. I mean, cool. But remember, to multiply, it can have a different type of increase in respects. So I'm going to give you a new one. Proper preparation prepares you for multiplication. Proper preparation prepares you for multiplication, because those things that you want to add to your life, you have to ensure that you're prepared for them. I want to add increase. The arithmetic operation has you adding things to it, adding the quality of life, knowing when to subtract yourself out of certain things and certain situations and certain people in certain areas, whatever it is. Those are your arithmetic operations. Those things are going to happen, but you have to understand that there is a operation that takes place when those things happen. And number 2 is, I want you to empower your creation. Because to multiply is a creation mandate. There is a creation mandated that in order for you to multiply a particular thing, there must be a way that you're going to do it and a why. But you're going to have to trust and remember that you already have it. Because if the seed of the fruit was planted, then you have to ensure that I have planted this seed and I have high expectations that once I get to the season of the harvest, the thing that I planted is going to be there in the harvest, and I am going to utilize that thing that I have because it already exists. And because I have it, I want to empower it. Empower it like you already know that it's there. Empower it because it needs you to empower it. It needs you to express it. Because the empower of the fruit already exists. So now you know what to do when you see it. You multiply the harvest by how many seeds that you plant. Right? So if you want to grow, it's like planting an apple with an expectation of a orchard. Planting an orange, multiple oranges grows the expectations of having an orange grove. You can't plant an apple with the expectations of having a grove. It does not work that way. It won't work that way because remember, it says to give respects. So respect the seed that you planted in order for you to allow the harvest to grow into what it's supposed to grow into. Stop planting oranges and and trying to make apple juice. It's not going to work. Now you can make a juice, but it just won't be apple juice. It will be what you've planted. You can't have gifts and you expect those gifts to work when you don't know what the gift is. Because if singing is not a gift, stop grabbing microphones and at karaoke's, and if that's not your gift. I'm just saying. Empower your creation. Understand what you have. Know what it is. Know what you want to do with it. And I guarantee you that it will begin the process of multiplication because you've planted the seed and the seed have been planted inside of you. Now, when you open your mouth, it will come out. And number 3 is increase. Take your time and understand what your gift is. Take your time and understand where your gift is. Take your time and understand where your gift is going to take you. Take your time and understand that if I am ever going to multiply, I must understand that I must plant the seed that is going to be the fruit, that is going to be what I want to add and to increase in my life. We got too many people that's trying to multiply before they add. We have too many people that's trying to multiply before they even became fruitful. And I know we've seen it yesterday, and I still think it's only right for us to bring it back. Check your activity. Check it. You can't say I want to increase in wealth and you don't even produce the activities to create wealth. You can't say I want to open multiple businesses. You haven't even produced the activity to open one business. You want to have a healthy life. I want to increase my health. But the activities that you're doing will not produce a healthy life or a healthy lifestyle because you're not doing the activities that is required of you to produce and to multiply your way of life, because you're doing the things that will cause you to deteriorate a whole lot faster because you didn't check the activities that you were doing. If I made you upset, I'm cool with it. That's probably what you needed. If I made you think, I'm cool with it. That's probably what you needed. I'm just checking my activity. Am I doing what is required? The answer is yes. I'm supposed to get up. I'm supposed to create, and I'm supposed to empower my creation, and I'm supposed to execute. Everyone in life have the ability to execute, because you cannot be fruitful and multiply without the execution. It won't work. It just won't work, because there's no way that execution takes place without multiplication, because it has to. So multiply. Put that in the chat. Multiply, because today is your day to multiply. Look at this, the natural seeds and the natural gifts that you have, and multiply. You can be fruitful just like you can multiply, but you can't have one without the other. I'm going to say that again. You can be fruitful and you can multiply, but you cannot have one without the other. They coexist. Both of them can exist, but they coexist. You can be fruitful and you can multiply, but you cannot have one without the other. They have to coexist, because within the fabric of the multiplication lies an addition to. All right, that's enough. But hey, y'all be blessed. And remember, consistency can create currency, right? That's kind of like a multiplication thing. The more you do it, the more consistent you are at it, the better you get at it. The more you say it, the more you see it, the more you believe it. And because you see it multiple times, you believe it multiple times, it's going to happen for you in a large way multiple times. All right, that's enough. Hey, y'all be blessed. And remember, I'll see you tomorrow, 7:30, right here in the morning at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. Peace.